Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to do all things deed. We got 4 lessons here about deeds, and we have like a 6-question quiz at the end. So if you need help with deeds, then this is voluntary alienation. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Is the voluntary conveyance of real property by deed. A deed is a written and signed legal document that conveys title to the real property from the old owner to the grantor, the new owner, the grantee. A deed is called an instrument of conveyance. And a deed is said to be an instrument of conveyance. What does this mean? It is used to convey title to a property from one person or entity to another. A deed is a written and signed legal document that transfers ownership from one person to another. The grantor is the person who transfers the title. The grantee is the person receiving the title. And a deed is an instrument of conveyance. I read this a couple times. Elements of a deed. Now it's saying Maryland up here, so I'm not sure if this is specific. Okay. Each element is required. It's in writing. It's conveyed orally. I don't know that that's required. You have the grantor and grantee, and there's a statement of consideration. Okay, all of these are required, and any deed exceptions is required for it to be valid. Any deed exceptions is required. The legal property is required. A granting clause. I don't know about that. I'm going to put yes because I don't know. And yes, you do need an act of conveyance. Terms and their descriptions. The person conveying and receiving the title respectively also refers to a party as the first part. Party is the second part. I think it's the grantor and grantee. A legal term that means people are assumed to have knowledge about what's in the public record. Acknowledgement. Required to execute the deed, the interest, delivering acceptance. An oath by the subscribing witness is by the notary public, and required to effective transfer of title. Okay, well, we got a lot of these wrong. Okay, we're going to have to take these all over again. Okay. Let's go over here and look at our resources because we're screwing up this. Okay. Person receiving the deed. Let's go and read some of these resources here. Maybe that'll help me pass this because we don't get to move on until we pass. So we've got to pass. All right. To the requirements, the deeds need to be in writing, and the grantor, the grantee, is the person conveying the title. The signature of the transfers involving buyer and seller is the signature of the grantor. We're going to take this again and we're going to look at a resource. I think we got this one right. Maybe not. Yeah, we did. Okay. This one we got right. A legal term. A legal term that people have knowledge about what's in the record. Acknowledgement and recording. You would think that would be it, but that wasn't the right answer. You cannot record a deed unless it's legal and been acknowledged. Assume. Okay, what's... Okay. I don't know. You cannot grant property to yourself. Delivery and acceptance. Let's see what it says about delivery and acceptance. It is delivered and accepted by the grantee to be effective. Delivery must be made to the grantee. Convey the interest. All right, let's go back up here and see if we can find any of these answers. Signature of the grantee. Transfer of property involves a corporate buyer or seller. Transfer of title by deed. It's got to be recording, I would think. Acknowledgement and recording. Transfer of title by deed. Okay. I'm going to pause this 1 second. I'm going to say, delivery and acceptance on this one. What did I say on this one last time? This one will... Delivery and acceptance. Okay. This one is not acknowledgement. Maybe this one. Signature. Acknowledgement. All right, thank God. That took a little while. All right. Let's move on. All right, the intended grantee's name was misspelled, although it's clear the grantor's intention was titled to the eldest son. Is it valid? I don't think it's valid. The grantor and grantee's name on the deed are the same. Not valid. Sky is 16, as an attorney executed deed to grant property she owns to her boyfriend. Delilah signs a deed as grantor to transfer a property to Big Court. There's no guarantee signature. Lewis has a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. He transfer ownerships to an acquaintance. Maybe. Let's see. All right, no. So we got almost all these wrong. We're not doing very good on this section, by the way. This might be a long video. But so far, I'm not doing very good on any of these questions. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's go back and take it again. First 3 are valid. The last 2 are not valid. This is valid. And this is valid. Okay, so I was completely off. So if the deed is misspelled, apparently it is still valid. I mean, that's good to know. And if the grantor and grantee both are on the same thing, it's okay. All right, a deed can be written in any language. I don't know about that. The grantee is not required to sign the deed if the grantee is assuming a mortgage. Once a deed is acknowledged by the executing party, it can be recorded in the county clerk, and the grantee must be legally competent to receive title. And we got 1 wrong. The grantee is not required to sign the deed if they're assuming a mortgage. Okay. It cannot be recorded in any language because this is not our native tongue here. The names of the grantor and grantee, the persons conveying and receiving title, respectively, and the signature of the grantor, is required to execute the deed. The acknowledgement is an oath by both witnesses, notary public, and the grantor's signing. Delivery and acceptance is the actions required to effect the transfer, And delivery may be delivered directly to the grantee, the agent, the attorney, the real estate broker, or the title company. Once delivery is made, acceptance is presumed. And that's elements of a deed recap. We're doing recording, delivery, and acceptance. To be recorded, a deed must be acknowledged. A deed acknowledged, the grantor must appear before an authorizing witness. To acknowledge a deed must appear before a public officer. I don't know about a public officer. As part of the acknowledgement, the grantor must state the signed deed is voluntary. No, I don't know about that one either. All right, as part of the grantor must sign the deed is voluntary. Without a recorded deed, the seller cannot sell the property to another buyer. That is false. Oh, Lord. Okay, they do not have to appear before a public officer. I had that right the first time. And let's see what other one said. The grantor must sign the deed as voluntary, false. And without the recorded deed, the seller cannot sell the property to another buyer. And that is false. Apparently that is false. Okay. Last two are false. First two are true. All right, let's go back through these one more time if you want to take a screenshot. To be recorded, a deed must be acknowledged. To acknowledge a deed, a grantor must appear before an authorizing witness. To acknowledge a deed, the grantee must appear before a public officer. It's not true. They do not have to appear before a public officer. The grantor must state the deed signing is voluntary. And as part of the acknowledgement, the grantee must state the deed is voluntary. No. Okay, the grantor must state the deed sign is voluntary, but not the grantee. Without a recorded deed, doesn't matter. The seller can sell the property to another buyer. To effect the transfer of a deed, title acceptance must occur. Delivery and acceptance must occur. The deed must be delivered to the grantee or an agent of the grantee. Once the deed is delivered, the grantee's acceptance is presumed. If the deed is delivered to an agent, such as attorney, a written acknowledgement of acceptance by the grantee is required. And that's false. So all of those are true except for that last one. It doesn't matter if anybody accepts it upon deliverance. Nobody has to sign for it. Okay. A deed cannot be recorded unless it's legal and has been acknowledged. All right, legal description. This is our last lesson in this unit. And I got to tell you, I'm not doing very good. All right, let's see. The legal description is meets and bounds, lot and block, monuments, and government survey. We've hit all this almost near the very beginning. The very beginning of our lessons. Some of the very first real estate classes that I put out. We went over all of this stuff. Okay, informal is monument. Address is informal. Meets and bounds, township is all formal. Tax map is informal. Township is formal. Lots and blocks, meets and bounds are all formal. Everything else is informal. Okay, address is informal. This is formal. This is informal. Formal. Informal and formal. Okay, so let's see. What is an acceptable formal property description? Okay, this is not. This is informal. Remember, we just went over that. Too acceptable. $15 meters. I have no idea. I have no idea on that. We should look at this resource over here. Meets are the direction and distance. Do you think we're going to look like that when we get old? No, I'm not. You can identify bounds visually and measure meets. Okay, so bounds are visual. 1 acre is a meet. Okay. 15 meters is a meet. Meet. Bound. Meet. Meet and bound. All right. Let's wrap it up. What is the purpose of including a legal description? To perform a legal description. Okay. All right, let's do the unit exam. It is 6 questions. So I think we can only miss 1. Okay, I had a feeling I was going to fail this. All right, let's see which ones we got wrong here. All right, I got this one right, amazingly enough. I totally guessed on that. Hereby convey. And this one's an iron rod with a surveyor's cap. I mean, this has been a long time since we went over this. This one is legal description. Okay, we got both of these grantors right. All right, so let's take it again. We got plenty of time. And we'll take it again until we pass it. Kevin sold the property using a general warranty lead. Which of these statements is true? Kevin and Regina sold their property to Vicky using a general warranty lead. Which of these statements is true? Oh boy. Either they can convey the property, I guess. All right, as part of the acknowledgement, who must state the deed signing is voluntary? The grantor? All right, which of the following is an instrument of conveyance? Oh, Lord, I think it's deed. Which term defines an oath by a subscribing witness, such as a notary public, which that the grantor signing the deed is a voluntary act and enables a deed to be recorded? Acknowledgement, I'm guessing? Could be this one, too. All right, why is acknowledgement and recording of a deed so vital? I guess it protects the buyer from the same property being sold by the sellers to future buyers. Of course we failed again because we messed up. Okay, this is the grantor. And this is Vicky is the grantee. Okay. Grantor. Got that one right. Acknowledgement. Okay, so most of them I got right except for this one. And it's not the notary. It's got to be grantor. Okay. So we are back taking this again. Which option must be included on a deed for it to be valid? Grantor, grantee. Which of the following describes the actions required to transfer a title? Delivery and acceptance, I'm guessing. Which are the best description of a deed? I don't know. Abstract the title. That's a good one. A recording fee? I don't think that's right. I'm going to say an abstract the title. I don't know. You're selling a property located in a subdivision. Which form of legal description will you likely see? And in order to convey real property, which document would you use? A legal description can contain. Luckily, this is very short. We should start getting repeat questions now, by the way, because I've failed this like 3 times. Okay, this is a document to transfer ownership. Okay. And this one's lot and block. Will you likely see on a property? Located in a subdivision. Okay. If you keep taking it, repeat, and start taking some pictures, you'll start remembering this stuff after a while because it will become repetition. All right, let's see. Do we already have this question? All right, let's see. He's the grantor in the final stages of transferring a deed to the new owner. What must Joe Bob do in order to satisfy delivery and acceptance? Get Frank's signature. Joe Bob. They must be like country people. Some of these names they come up with. When a property owner wishes to convey her property to a new owner, she would generally use a deed. A blank is used to accurately identify property for transfer. Legal description. Which of the following could be a valid deed? Could be on a napkin. It's got both signatures. And I don't know about that. It's nothing in writing. I'm thinking this one. That one was almost there, but no. Half of it was in writing and half of it was oral, so that's not going to work. Okay, I want to say deed is a method of conveying real property to another. Which term refers to the person conveying title called the party of the first part? Grantor. All right, let's see if we got it. We passed this time. We still got one wrong. You can only get one wrong to pass this, by the way. And this is the one we got wrong. Deliver the deed to Frank or the title company issuing the title. So you don't need to get anybody's signature, and it doesn't need to be recorded. All right, so if you need to take any screenshots of any of these questions to help you study, we had a few extra minutes here at the end, and then we're going to go on to the next lesson. I am 70% done with this course, which is super exciting because I'm getting kind of tired of it myself. Trying to speed it up a little bit. I'm reading less if you haven't noticed. Otherwise, I don't think I'm ever going to get done. So, we have to move it along a little quicker. because it does have a time limit on it. Plus, it's getting nice outside, and I would like to go take some walks once in a while instead of doing these stupid tests, right? All right, deeds, uses, transfer a title by descent, and this can be applied probably anywhere. There are some specific things to the state of Maryland, but not all things. Okay, everybody, I'll see you on the next video. This is the next one we're going to do if you're following along. Thanks for watching.